is probability? Probability is the likelihood of an event happening. It's going to be expressed as a number between 0 and 1. Like, what's the probability I flip heads? When I flip a coin, a fair coin that has heads and tails, that would be 1/2. We're going to, we can label things as impossible to certain. So between 0 and 1 is our probability. If something is 0, the probability of something happening is 0, that means it's impossible to happen. If the probability of something is 1, that means that we are certain that is going to happen. Something that's equally likely, like flipping heads or tails on a coin. Again, I'm going back to that example. Your probability of that is equally likely to get heads or tails, so that is 1/2. And we can have probability anywhere in between here. We can also represent probability as a percent. So we can change that fraction into a percent from 0 to 100%. So if we're looking at things that are impossible, unlikely, equally likely, likely, and certain. Snowing when it's 40 degrees outside, that is impossible because it needs to be 32 degrees Fahrenheit or colder for it to snow. So that is the freezing point at 32 degrees. Anything precipitation, when it's above 32 degrees is not going to be snow. So 40 degrees, that would be rain. Burning your dinner if you cook it too long, that is likely. Okay, it's not certain it's going to happen, but it is likely it's going to happen. Boiling water at 75 degrees Fahrenheit is impossible because the burning point or boiling point for water is 212 degrees Fahrenheit. So water will not boil if it's only heated to 75 degrees Fahrenheit. Getting a ticket if you're speeding, that's likely to happen. Scoring 2 points on a safety in a football game, that's unlikely. It just doesn't happen all that often. And a coin landing on heads when it's flipped, since there's only 2 sides again, that would be equally likely. So on the back page of your notes, and these you don't need to print out or anything, you just need to read through them and kind of know what it's talking about. You can take your own notes if you wish on your own paper. So simple probability, when we're talking about simple probability, is the ratio of successful outcomes to the total number of outcomes. So we're going to write that as a fraction. P is for probability. So if I'm looking at P for probability, I'm going to put my favorable. My favorable is what I want to have happen over my total number of outcomes. So favorable, like if I have a bag of marbles and there's 3 red marbles and 2 green marbles, 3 red and 2 green. What's my probability that I get a red marble? Well, if there's 3 red and 2 green, there's 5 altogether. So my total would be 5. And so favorable, what I want is a red, so 3 over 5. So this is our formula here for simple probability. So let's read through some of these questions. A standard number cube is rolled. What is the probability of rolling a 6? Well, on a cube, standard normal dice, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So there's only 1 6, and out of those 6 numbers, there's 6 total. So 1/6 is my probability of rolling a 6. 1/6 is my probability of rolling a 5 because, again, it's a normal dice here. So only one side has 5 on it. And an odd number, well, what are our odd numbers? 1, 3, 5, etc. 1, 3, and 5 are on the dice, and that is 3 out of the 6 numbers, which is 1/2. So looking at number 10, a laundry basket has 24 socks in it. 6 were navy, 10 were black, and the remaining were white. What is the probability of drawing a black sock? Well, first we need to know how many socks are there altogether. Again, it says that there are 24 socks. If we didn't have that number given to us, we would just have to add all of them together. If we were given all of them. But here it says the remaining are white, so you need to find out how many white there were when you want to find a white sock. What's the probability of the white sock? Well, if we're looking at black socks, we know that there are 10 black out of my 24, so 10 out of 24 is 5/12. If we're looking over here, again, like I just said a minute ago, if we're looking at a white sock, so if 10 were black and 6 were navy, 10 plus 6 is 16, we need to subtract that from 24 to know how many white socks there were. So 24 minus 16 is 8, so 8 out of the 24 socks were white. That gives me a 1/3 probability that I pick a white sock. And a navy sock would be 6 out of 24. We're going to reduce our fraction, and that's a probability of 1/4. So on all of these, I'm reducing my fractions to the simplest form for my probability. Number 11, scroll this up a little bit. Number 11, the spinner below is spun. What is the probability of spinning a 6? Well, there's 7 numbers altogether, so 1/7, because there's only 1/6. So 1 out of 7 would be the probability of rolling a 6. A 3 or a 4, so we have 2 favorable outcomes here, 3 or 4. So that's 2 out of my total of 7. And an odd number, well, 4 of these numbers, 1, 3, 5, and 7, are odd numbers, so 4 out of my 7 is my probability there. Looking at number 12, the letters in the word soccer are put into the bag and drawn randomly. What is the probability of choosing a vowel? Well, vowels are A, E, I, O, U, sometimes Y. So how many vowels do I have in soccer? The O and the E, so that's 2 out of 6, which simplifies to 1/3, because there's 6 total letters in soccer. Yes, C does appear twice, but you have to count it each time. So it's not one letter C put into the bag, it's both letters of C. So that might get some of you too. So a consonant, so a letter that is not a vowel is a consonant. So 4 of these out of the 6 are consonants. So 4/6, which reduces to 2/3. So 4 is my favorable. There, 6 again is still my total. The letter C, 2 out of the 6 letters are C. So that's a probability of 1/3. And the last couple we're going to get over together. Number 13, at a pediatrician's office, patients are able to draw a toy from the bin. The toy bin has 12 puzzles, 16 boxes of crayons, and 2 bouncy balls. What's the probability of drawing anything but a bouncy ball? Well, you need to know how many total toys there are. So if you add 16 plus 12 plus 2, that's 30 toys altogether. Anything but a bouncy ball. Well, there is only 2 bouncy balls, so 30 minus 2 is 28. So 28 is my favorable over 30, which reduces to 14 over 15. A box of crayons. How many boxes of crayons do I have? It looks like I have 16 boxes of crayons. So I'm going to put 16 over 30, which reduces to 8/15. And a puzzle, there's 12 puzzles, so 12 out over 30, because 12 is my favorable. 30 is my total. 12 over 30 reduces to 2/5. So my probability of choosing a puzzle would be 2/5. And last but not least, number 14. In the movie drawer, there are 7 action movies, 5 comedies, and 3 dramas. What's the probability of choosing a drama? Well, we need to know how many movies there are total. So 7 plus 5 plus 3 is 15. A drama, 3 of those 15 are dramas. So 3 is our favorable, 15 is our total. 3 over 15 reduces to 1/5. Anything but a comedy is, there's 10 movies that are not comedies, 7 action, 3 dramas, so that's 10. So 10 over 15 is 2/3. And an action movie, there's 7 action movies, so 7 over 15, and that does not reduce, so we keep that as 7/15. So hopefully this is a good little review from last year about probability. Remember, for today, you're going to want to then take this interactive quiz and email me a screenshot of your score report, or you can upload it to Canvas. So you're going to take a screenshot of that, send it to me, and then check in tomorrow for our assignment for tomorrow. Bye, guys.